before I let you go, I've got a story here that I wanted to share with you specifically because you're one of my few friends who is actually born and raised in Orange County, and I think you could probably weigh in on this here. Although this is the for people listening that might not know, Orange County is, there's definitely like working class areas of Orange County, but the coastline in particular, in this area especially, Laguna Beach, is one of the wealthiest places in America. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. This is from Laguna Beach. Just want to get your reaction to this because I think this is very, very Arrested Development. Known as the Bond King, 76-year-old billionaire Bill Gross owns a $32 million home dubbed Rockledge-by-the-Sea in Laguna Beach, California. Gross is the co-founder of one of the largest investment firms, PIMCO. He calls himself, quote, the best neighbor in the world, because I'm only home 25 days out of the year. He also kind of looks like the younger, sexier Crypt Keeper. So that was the first thing I read is like this guy has a $32 million home that he's in for 25 days out of the year. So that is where this conflict arises from.
Okay.
So
this doesn't, neighbor. Yeah, I'm already mad. Neighbors.
Right?
Like a neighborhood. You want neighbors.
Yeah.
You want neighbors that are there.
Yeah, but that's his
that
claim.
Are participating in community. So really, really clear indication of what this guy's mindset is, which is that he would rather live alone on a cliff than anywhere near human beings who he would maybe have to consider the feelings of. Go on.
So he does have a neighbor. His neighbor in Laguna Beach is a tech entrepreneur named Mark Towfiq. So he built his dream home on the lot next door to Gross's after purchasing it in 2009 and winning a protracted legal battle with another neighbor who claimed the project would impede coastal access. So we basically have just two assholes living next to each other.
Oh boy, yeah. Also, coastal... I fucking hate landowners.
I know, right?
Go on.
Coastal access.
Like, fuck you. Yeah. Oh, you think you get to control how access to the coastline works?
Towfiq's most recent contribution to society is an app called Flywheel, which essentially turns real taxis into Ubers. Taxi drivers sign up for the service, turn their unionized dispatcher-based businesses into fun app-based gig economy side hustles.
Oh my God.
Towfiq takes a cut. He's also great.
Oh my God. Give me a fucking break.
So that's these two people. So a year and a half ago, relations between the wealthy neighbors seemed to be cordial. Gross even hired Kenny Loggins to have a private backyard concert, which he invited Towfiq to. It was for his ex-pro tennis player girlfriend's 50th birthday. Towfiq texted a thank you to Gross for the show, according to Bloomberg News. So this is where the rub comes in. Soon after the Kenny Loggins concert, which, first of all, what a perfect artist for this situation. Like the guy who sang "Even Though We Ain't Got Money, I'm So in Love with You, Honey," of course, put him in the backyard
playing private concerts around a pool in Laguna Beach.
It makes sense. So soon after the Kenny Loggins concert, Gross put up a $1 million blown glass sculpture made by artist Dale Chihuly in his backyard outside of Towfiq's window. So if you don't know Dale Chihuly, he's amazing. Like, I'm a big fan of his. We actually have in Auburn here at the museum a big Chihuly that hangs like a chandelier above the entrance. Like
those pieces are crazy.
They're beautiful. Like my favorite was he took over like the Atlanta Botanical Gardens one year and just put thousands of these glass sculptures all over the gardens and stuff. It's really cool. So he put up this Chihuly statue out in front of Towfiq's window. At the time, this appeared to cause no trouble from next door, but then the installation somehow suffered $50,000 in damages. Gross and his girlfriend, as I mentioned, ex-pro tennis star Amy Schwartz, would later claim that this damage was caused by a thrown rock. Schwartz said of her sculpture, quote, "Since I have no children of my own, this sculpture is like my baby.
Ew, shut up.
My mother,
Ew.
my mother, who has Alzheimer's, and I pray to the sculpture, and she enjoys looking at them because it's her favorite color and makes her smile."
This woman thinks this woman... This woman thinks you pray to a baby, first of all.
That's what she said. I mean, this is like a court document. So she put her hand on a Bible and said, I pray to my Chihuly statue.
Yeah, it's funny that she called it her baby and then goes on to describe what you do with a deity.
Right.
That's a deity.
Yeah. And also just trying to throw her mom in there, being like, oh, she has Alzheimer's and she likes it. It's like, yeah, you only live there 25 days of the year. Like, what do you think? It's a public beach right next to it. Like, shit happens. I don't know.
Yeah, my mom, when I take her out of the care facility, I've locked her in for one day. She likes it.
They're sort of insinuating that Towfiq maybe threw a rock at this thing. Towfiq, for his part, said that, quote, something probably fell on the statue. So.
I mean, Chihulies are like not that fragile. They're really big.
Yeah.
Glass. It's not like one rock. You'd have to throw a boulder at it.
Yeah, which on the seaside cliffs of Laguna Beach is entirely possible that just happened on its own.
Yeah, and also like one bad like Santa Ana wind day and that thing's gone.
Yeah, 100%. There's no limit to shit that can happen to a bunch of glass on a beach in California.
Yeah.
It's not definitely not, it's not for sure that it's this guy. So, in any case, Gross was quick to act. In April, he installed a gigantic protective netting over the 10-foot tall sculpture. And the net, it basically, and we'll put a picture of this up on our Twitter at The Good Spot, it basically looks like a gigantic soccer net. like imagine a soccer net for a race of giants. It's like 15 feet tall and like 30 feet wide, massive soccer net. So Towfiq, whose seaside home is now partially obstructed by the giant soccer net, filed a complaint with Laguna Beach officials claiming that the netting and artwork had gone up without a permit. And that is when things really heated up. So now he fucking called the cops on him. He snitched on him for putting up a big soccer goal. So Gross and his girlfriend then set about trying to harass Towfiq, the tech entrepreneur said, by incessantly blaring mariachi, rap music, and TV theme songs, including Green Acres and MASH, as a pressure tactic for him to drop the complaint.
It's very funny to include mariachi and rap music. Like, they're playing ethnic music at me.
Oh, believe me, that's going to come back in court here in a second.
Uh-oh. Hate that.
Towfiq and his wife claimed that they could hear the music through the cement and double pane walls of the home. And in the course of the legal dispute, Towfiq submitted cell phone video showing a man who appears to be Gross dancing on his balcony to the theme song from Gilligan's Island.
He's just a dork.
The thing I read about
it to be abusive. He's just lame.
He's just lame. And further proof of that, Gross is one of the world's leading stamp collectors, I read. So, yeah, I'm with you. I was like, this guy's just a fucking dorkosaurus, man. Whatever.
Oh, God.
He owns, there's like a 1 cent stamp that features Benjamin Franklin from, 1800s, I suppose. And there's 2 of them in the world, and this guy owns one of them.
Oh, my God.
It's that kind of shit. So this is not the first time Gross has been accused of employing juvenile tactics to torment his adversaries. Gross was accused in 2018 of spraying his $20 million marital home with a chemical agent known as fart spray after he was forced to hand over the keys of his property to his ex-wife as part of a divorce settlement.
No chemist has ever named something fart spray.
That was from, I pulled a lot of this from several different papers, and I gotta say, it's off of the cap to our friends in Britain, because they're the ones who included that detail. And they phrased it exactly like that, where they said a chemical agent known as quote unquote fart spray.
Oh my God.
Gross is also accusing Towfiq of acting like a quote unquote peeping Tom and spying on him and his girlfriend, according to Bloomberg News. During the trial, an attorney for the billionaire said that Towfiq had filmed them and engaged in quote stalker-like behavior. It was also around this time that Towfiq allowed his home to be used in filming the HBO series Ballers. Everything in this story is just fucking perfect. Like, there's nothing not perfect in this story.
Oh, no. That's so funny. Also, fucking the lamest people always think they're being stalked. Nobody's stalking you.
Yeah, you own an investment firm. No one gives a shit. So yeah, they're filming Ballers, and the TV crew trucks cut off access to the PCH from Gross's home, and so he called the production team to have him move the trucks, and apparently this pissed off Towfiq, according to the filing. By the fall, both men were seeking restraining orders against each other and had filed lawsuits prompting the trial this month. But on Monday, following at least several days of testimony, Gross released an open letter calling for a stop to the unneighborly feud. He wrote that the Laguna Beach fight was sucking away both public attention and court resources during the coronavirus pandemic. And while in-person court proceedings were unnecessarily exposing attorneys to the virus, and then in parentheses it says, court hearings were abruptly halted on Monday when the billionaire's lawyer said that Gross and Schwartz had been exposed to someone who tested positive for corona on an airplane. So this guy's basically like, hey, listen, this is taking up a lot of time from you, throwing people out of their houses. We should just step away and call the whole thing off.
Oh my God. Also, it's very funny to think of two people seeking out restraining orders against each other.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I mean, if you guys agree, then just don't go near each other.
Right. Yeah. You both agree.
Do you need to involve us? I don't know why you guys don't want to go near each other. So just go for it.
So he's asking to call the whole thing off. Towfiq is not having it. His lawyers counter that Gross is making a thinly veiled attempt to distract from his actions and ultimately avoid cross-examination during the trial rather than protect those in the courtroom from the virus. Quote, this is his lawyer, make no mistake, this is a desperate stunt to stem the tide of negative press the public exposure of Gross's actions have produced. Gross has gone on to suggest that past and future legal expenses should be donated by both parties to food banks and other charities in Orange County.
Oh, man. So now, wait, so am I following this correctly that they're both like trying to seem like really good guys about this?
It's or
is it just one of them?
I think Gross is trying to seem like a good guy, and they're claiming he's only doing it to get out of having to sit on the stand and say all the terrible shit that he did. Which is a great plan. Right.
I'd also want to do that, I guess.
Towfiq's lawyer countered, quote, if billionaire Gross is so eager to contribute to people who are hurting, he is welcome to do so at any time. It's unfortunate that he's using the need all around us right now as a transparent PR tool. So this is their latest counter. So that just happened. And now Gross's lawyer is saying that his client did not play the Spanish music that annoyed Towfiq. Instead, it was his Latino property manager, Efrain Alba, who is now expected to take the stand later today. So he just
Oh my God.
So the guy who's in charge of like ground maintenance, I guess. I assume that's what a property manager is.
Yeah, I was trying to wonder what a property manager would be in a house owning situation.
I think it's because he says he's only there 25 days out of 365 a year. That this guy just like
sure.
Which by the way,
caretaker basically.
Yeah, caretaker.
Yeah.
Which by the way, if there's any dickheads with mansions that need a caretaker, boy, I'd love that job. My God,
dude. There was one day someone told me that they were like house sitting for somebody, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't drink. I've like really made an effort to seem responsible. Why am I never getting asked to house sit in mansions?
Yeah. I could do that. I could be the Maytag man.
What's the point of being everyone's most boring friend if I can't at least house sit a mansion?
Yeah, I just want to, sit by a pool and listen to, mariachi music really loud. That's all I want to do.
So nice. I'll be so nice to your house, but I'll take a lot of pictures of myself in it.
Yeah.
That's all.
But yeah, I just like that now because he's not, the other people are not letting him out of this lawsuit. They're not letting him settle. He's just like, okay, who do I know that's Mexican? That'll jump under this bus for me. It's like, you, Efrain, Can you please tell them it was you with the mariachi? Even though it's not just mariachi. Like, they specifically were like, no, he's playing mariachi, rap music, and TV theme songs, which, hey, guess what? You know who listens to TV theme songs? Fucking 76-year-old billionaires. That's the only people.
This is a side observation, but first of all, I do have to correct that I was born in Hollywood, California, so technically Los Angeles.
Right.
Not Orange County. It's, for some reason, important to me that distinction gets made. But I did go to, like, middle school in Orange County and lived in Long Beach for a long time, which is technically LA, but that's Orange County.
Close. Yeah.
And, but so when I lived in San Diego, my dad would, like, pick me up on the weekends and drive me to Hollywood to his house. And he only kept 2 CDs in his car. And one was a CD single of Chris Isaak, Wicked Games.
Wicked Game? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Which... that is a 2-hour drive. And so...
follow.
Then the other CD was a CD with 75 tracks of TV theme songs from the 60s.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And so the whole drive, we'd listen to just repeating, like, Green Acres and...
Gilligan's
Get
Island.
Smart.
Yeah, Get Smart. Holy shit. I was trying. I think
that's very funny to me.
God, I mean, it's an effective tactic. The more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if my next door neighbor was just playing fucking the Odd Couple theme song over and over.
My neighbors across the street, from Wednesday night until Sunday, basically, were like, they, like, drag a PA system out onto their porch and just blast, like, auntie R&B, you know, stuff like an aunt would listen to.
Like
really smooth
Brian
R&B
McKnight.
Yeah, but, like, less mainstream than Brian McKnight. Like, I used to love R&B. I've rarely heard these songs.
Okay. Love it.
And then the other thing is they play Old Town Road, like, twice a night.
Yeah.
And it's, like, loud. Like, they play it loud. It's very funny. It's just, like, the sound of my neighborhood.
Oh, that rules. Well, yeah, the last sentence here just relates to what we were just talking about. Gross's lawyer has tried to portray Towfiq as being biased against Spanish language music. So that's where it's at right now, is them being like, you know what? Because you don't like mariachi being played at 1,000 decibels, it means you are racist, sir. So.
That's really good. I mean, it is funny to outline that it's mariachi music and rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like going out of your way to say that those are the annoying kinds of music. It is, like, a little racially unclear.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
Unclear what your motivation is for singling out those two types.
It's loaded for sure.
Yeah, so it is kind of funny because then to pair those with, like, and TV theme songs is like, I mean, 2 of these are very popular with a lot of people.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, that's the news from Orange County. That's what I got.
People from, I mean, there's a lot of places in Orange County that are, like, pretty normal, like,
sure,
just a normal suburb. But people in Laguna are not good. They're all bad. If you live there, you're bad, I think, probably. Yeah. You had to do something bad to get... It's, like, really hard for me to imagine a situation where you were a really good person and then afforded a Laguna Beach house.
Oh, yeah.
And all these, like, property owners on beaches are always awful.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Like, being mad about beach access is like, what? You are not... What do you think you are? Like, the god of the sea? You can't...
What are you, Poseidon? David Geffen?
Yeah, you can't do this. You can't. You cannot.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a big one in Malibu years ago. David Geffen had what was supposed to be a public access sidewalk that went from the Pacific Coast Highway to the beach there, and he just put a gate over it and locked it. It was like, fuck you, and then basically told the city of LA to sue him, which they did, and it took like 10 years, but he finally was forced to take it down and shit.
People make guillotine jokes, but it's like, it's not going to be a joke eventually. Like, you can't do stuff like that.
Yeah, a 12-foot tall soccer net is not going to keep you safe from pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, what the fuck is David Geffen going to do if we rip that down in a big crowd? Is it nothing? Seems like it's probably nothing.
Yeah.
Probably won't even be home. Those people are never home.
Exactly, yeah. He's only home 25 days of the year, he told us in court. So
That's so funny. I also, another Wisconsin thing that this made me think of is I got pretty teased when I was there because, we were helping around the house and we were in the front yard. And I was handed a rake and told to rake. And so, it occurred to me I'd never even held a rake before because I've never lived in a house.
Right.
So, I've never had a yard. And so I was like, well, I think I get the idea. And so I, did it once and was immediately laughed at by, all the family members that were there. And they're like, what are you doing? That's not how you do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I've actually never I've never lived in a house. Well, yeah. I've only lived in apartments. So I have never raked. I've never had a yard. And everyone's like, oh, what a princess. And I'm like,
what? No, the opposite.
What are you talking about? I can't afford land. It's not. What is this? It's not that I'm opposed to chores.
Right.
It's that this one hasn't come up yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, in your defense too, Southern California is mostly cactuses, succulents, and palm trees. There's not an incredible amount of fucking leaves just raining down all the time. Yeah.
It did also make me think when I produced this event called Thanksgiving House with IFC and Funny or Die one year. And it was in a Hollywood neighborhood and we rented a house, but it was supposed to seem like Thanksgiving and it was like an immersive play kind of thing. But part of it was that it needed to seem like fall in just any town, America, but it was in Hollywood. And so we bought a bunch of organic real leaves and had them shipped. We bought real leaves and had them shipped and sprinkled them around. And I was like, Los Angeles is so fucking stupid. This is so stupid.